Well, we first decided there wasn't anything to brand yet. So then we had just had Cokes afterwards. No, I think jump toward the end of the conversation as things started to coalesce a little bit. We discussed the notion that maybe what we should be branding is the process, and that Future Ready Nashville has a process. It was born out of a process. So it's the only thing we actually do own right now. We own that 3 days. And in that 3 days, we had 2 strategic partners, the design shop and the leadership lodge. So there is this entity, Future Ready Nashville, that is about to emerge. It's got 2 strategic partners. And I would imagine that we would all say that that process of the design shop was a fabulous process to bring a lot of different people together around an idea about the future of our city. So what that is, that would be our why. Why did you all decide to come together and get 3 days of your life? But if we can articulate that, that's the why. That's what we really are about. And then we had to have some strategic partners to do that. So we kind of moved forward, see if we could come up with a phrase, not that it's anything you want to own, but it gave us something to deal with out of our conversation. So we said that Future Ready Nashville provides a process for civil engagement in the mindful, transformational change of our community. So if there is this Future Ready Nashville that we can actually try to articulate, define, then there's an action aspect to that, this availability of action that happens through pilot projects. So that the think tank notion is future ready, that there is this almost endless over time process of discussions that can occur around issues that Future Ready Nashville decides are important. Whatever that process is, once Future Ready Nashville decides who they are, and that a work group, an idea, inclusive urbanization, has its own autonomy, yet there's an organizational structure that supports them. So if you come up with the idea that there's a certification that now is involved with every development project and the percentage they get, those people will have to come to Future Ready Nashville through that project of inclusive urbanization to get their certification. Whatever that process is, that's part of the branding, that there are these work groups, action, whatever we're going to call them, alternatives that are born out of pilot projects to create that model. It's not created yet. Because what you all would do with urbanization is very different than the civic engagement website would do. The nature of what would have to happen with that would be very different, but it would all be under this umbrella of Future Ready Nashville, which is the process whereby you gather people from the community or outside the community as the resources might be planned. So that would be potentially the place to start. Articulate why, brand the process itself, and then articulate the way in which it moves out projects to actually make a difference and be involved in that transformative change.
Aaron, what's next?
What's next is I think we processed this, first of all, for at least a few days. But it seems like we've got to decide what each of us in the room are going to do. So I can't create visuals like Matt can, so, or Peter can. So I think we figure out what our core competencies are and decide what we're going to contribute to this. So to me, it's instigating design shop. It's putting something together that describes our vision and clearly communicates that vision. And that's a branding piece, essentially. And I guess the leadership lodge figuring out funding for a series of design shops.
Well, we can get some help with that. We could use some help with that.
So that's really where I see our next steps is creating a piece for the vision, deciding what each of us in the room are going to do since we're the steering committee, and making sure we can raise the money to do it.
We're gonna sell one of those newspapers in the street corners. On the coldest day of the year, you're shivering.
What does it cost to run a design workshop?
Depends on the size, I suppose. We spent about $50,000 to do our 3-day event with all of you guys, and that was pretty. I mean, that was we put the dog on pretty good with that. And we also had one-time purchases with the printer and that sort of thing. That's our hard cost, and just of doing the event, that doesn't give us any kind of return on having that building out there and having one to help us organize things and whatnot. So.
What he means is, give me to disorganize things. Is what
Yeah.
he really means.
So I can go back to your emails if you want, or it's actually easier. If you think about if you're going to be one of the instigators and co-designers of a design shop, go ahead and state what topic you'd be most interested in helping to design the conversation around. I know that I know there's an education in the room, there's a civic engagement in the room, there's a healthcare, transportation, affordable housing. I think I'm looking around the room and I know exactly who sent me what. So
I was just thinking that it would be really beneficial for this group to meet again and just really kind of review, just catch back up on what we exactly talked, what our end result was, and then start to kind of distill even just a brief outline of that, and then we can move forward with it. But right now, I think I remember the awesome experience of it, but I haven't really immersed myself back into the content
Little
again.
things are coming up.
Right, yeah. And so a working session on just, I'm guessing all the notes and all the images, there were photographs taken of everything, and that it was all transcribed, but no analysis of it has been done. Or,
so we're in right
yeah,
now.
right. So that would be,
So yeah, maybe that's the thing. We get another meeting on the calendar, or I would say within the next week or two. I hope that's okay. I see heads nodding. Okay. And I see a head nodding no.
Just one head.
Are you just being divergent right now? Is that what's happening for
He's going back to the other side.
No, Mac is trying to say he wants it more often, is what I think he's trying to say.
Exactly right.
tomorrow morning, if everyone can get here. So, and in the meantime, we go back and we review the website from what it has. Hopefully, you guys can send us out some pictures of the things that we have on the walls and
Sure.
some notes. And we review all that and come back together in a week or so and really start. And in the meantime, think about your roles that you want to play in it. Come back together and start assigning. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind hearing that conversation among everybody here. Back to, you can re-engage in the excitement and the energy of that. What is it that brought everybody together in the first place? Not the outcomes we came up with that impulse, but that's the impulse we want to touch with everybody else. Because it's got to be a lot more than the people that showed up that day who have that. And articulating that seems to be at the core of it. So there's a wellspring that continues to inform us. Recalling that may inspire us to get back to someone.
I think Aaron's idea of having multiple design shops like throughout the community is kind of that way. If we look at how people learn, telling them about it is going to be a lot less effective than immersing them in that experience.
I think to his point is, how do we capture what made us all show up for 3 days? And communicate.
We stayed engaged.
Well, no. Capturing that motivation that we all had back in December to show up for 3 days. How do we capture that and communicate it to the people we would want to attend each of these design shops? Is that what you were getting at?
Yeah, I mean, it may just be me, I'm an inside out guy, so it's gonna be a lot easier for me to say, okay, I'm happy to make some images or contribute on X, but until I really know more and more and more about not what happened in December, but where are we now and what does it mean? I feel very differently having sat through that Sunday afternoon in Noah, it was like, whoa, okay. You know, just because I'm not that knowledgeable of other things around the city, but that's all.